Hey everyone, how's it going? Matthew Bailey here, and welcome to my 2018 best movies that I have seen so far. Now, as you can see, there's only 10 of them, and that's why it's called the Top 10 video, because I have only seen 10 films this year that I was pretty well aware of, and I wanted to do my review my top 10 list, since I've seen 10 films, which is a great number for this video, to rank these movies on how well I thought they did. So starting with, now, before I get started, I just want to say, if you don't like where I put some of these movies, let me know in the comment section, but be nice about it. This is just my opinion and why I thought I had to put these here. And give me your list of these 10 movies down below, and what you think your list should be out of these 10. But for right now, and there might be some spoilers in this video for some of these movies in case I accidentally blurred some out, so spoiler warning. So without further ado, let's get into it. So my number 10 movie, out of the 10 movies, my number 10 spot would have to be A Wrinkle in Time. I went to see this with my little sister on her birthday, and I was okay with seeing it. I just didn't, because I wanted to see how it would turn out. Now, and I think I did say this in a video with Matthew Davis Media. We both did a video on our most anticipated films, and I think this was one of mine. Now, I was okay with the movie, but the reason why I put it so low on the list is because it didn't really... I kind of heard about how the book went, and it didn't really go as planned like the book was. Like, it wasn't as good. And when I went to see the movie, it was a pretty entertaining movie, but some of these other movies are reasons why I put it at number 10. So my number 9 spot would have to be Adrift with Shailene Woodley and Sam Claflin. I think I said that name right. Yes, Shailene Woodley, the one who was in the Divergent movies, is in this movie. Now, I went to see it, and I had no idea it was actually based on a true story. But I gotta say, though, when it comes to true story movies, my two favorites by far are the Dolphin Tale films. Dolphin Tales 1 and 2. Because, like I said, if you watched one of my recent videos lately, I am going to be going down to Florida next Friday, not tomorrow, next Friday. And from then until August 5th, I will be down in Florida. I might only go see the dolphin on one of those days, because the rest of the days we're going to be down in Disney World. But I honestly think the Dolphin Tale movies are the best true story movies I've seen by far. That's just my opinion, though. And let me know what you think. Now, my number 8 spot, as you can see, is Tomb Raider. Now, Tomb Raider is the remake of the ones from many years ago. I went to see it with my friend Matthew Davis Media, who is also a YouTuber. His link will be in the description below. And I have to say, I thought it was a pretty good action movie. I never really saw the Tomb Raider movies from long ago, but I honestly think this one was an okay movie. Now, in regards to my other movies that I have on this list, at number 7, I would have to put Jurassic World 2 Fallen Kingdom. Now, I know this is so low on my list. I love the Jurassic Park movies. Now, I have heard a lot of people do not like the Jurassic Park 3 movie, which I kind of am with you on that. I honestly think Jurassic Park 3 wasn't that good either. It didn't really go at all with the story from the original films. Whatever, even though it brought back some familiar faces, I think only the first 2 Jurassic Park movies had a good story to tell that also kind of tied in to Jurassic World and Jurassic World 2. So that's why I'm with y'all on Jurassic Park 3 being not the worst movie of the 5. But at number 6, I have Ant-Man and the Wasp. I just went to see that a few weeks ago, and I actually saw it on the day before its release, which was Thursday. Same with my next movie in the list. But I had to say, Ant-Man and the Wasp was pretty insane. And like, as I said, spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie, don't watch it. Skip ahead a little bit. But the reason why I thought Ant-Man and the Wasp was okay is because the things that really shocked me in the movie was about how they actually went into the quantum realm more than they did in the first movie. And not only that, the first post-credits scene of the film seems like it actually took place after the events of Avengers Infinity War, because they send Scott into the quantum realm to get some stuff for the villain that was in the film but turned good, so that they could help fix her a little bit. And then and then as they were about to send him out, bring him back out, all of a sudden they just disintegrated, just like all the characters in Avengers Infinity War did. And that's coming up, and that number's coming up in just a little bit. But for my number 5 spot is Hotel Transylvania 3, Summer Vacation. I went to see that about, I believe it was 6 or 7 days ago. I went to see it on July 12th, once again with my friend Matthew Davis Media. His link will be in the description below. Me and him went to see it, and I gotta say, I thought this movie was really hilarious. It was pretty insane like the first two movies were, but this one was a little more action-packed than the first two were. And I gotta say, the ending of that movie it just blew my mind. So I guess I'm kind of doing a review in this video, of this movie. But the ending, like I said, spoilers in case you haven't seen it. The ending of Hotel Transylvania 3 was basically that so-called captain of that cruise ship, Erica. By the end of the movie, Drac actually asked her to marry him, and she said yes right as the credits showed up. I mean, I honestly was shocked, especially after what happened throughout the movie, and it kind of ties into what happened with the first Transylvania movies when it comes to Mavis and Johnny. Now, when I get to my top 4 films, I don't know if most of you are gonna get upset that I put this here, but my number 4 spot is Black Panther. Now, I know most people loved the film. I completely understand. But the other 3 films I have in the top 4 are really good because, and I'll explain why in a little bit. But for Black Panther, I loved it too. I really did. However, it really surprised me in the film with some characters. One being the Ulysses Klaue character. Because if you remember him from Age of Ultron in the second Avengers, he lost his arm, which he didn't still have his arm lost, but he somehow had a mechanical arm that he was using throughout most of the film. But then it looked like they actually killed him off in the movie, but some people have been making videos saying that he could still be lurking around in the MCU. I think that's what I heard. I don't know if that's true or not, but I don't think he's still lurking in the MCU. Now, there's one character that I did see get surprised at that is still lurking around in the MCU, and even though most people thought he was dead, and that is Red Skull from Captain America: The First Avenger. I was shocked when he showed up in Avengers Infinity War. I was really shocked. And even though he did acquire the Soul Stone in that, after that scene ended, whatever happened to Red Skull? He was just the guardian of it, and until someone actually acquired it. So who knows what happened to him? I guess we'll find out by the end of Avengers 4, hopefully. Now, for my number 3 spot, I had to put Maze Runner 3, The Death Cure, the last movie of the Maze Runner trilogy. Now, I was pretty impressed with this movie. I didn't think the second movie did all that well when it comes to the right arm, which was mentioned in the books. However, the Rhydon didn't get mentioned, as well as Vince and all them. They never got mentioned until the third book. But in the films, they got really introduced at the end of the second movie. And I gotta say, it was really However, the only good thing about this movie, most of the good things about this movie is that most of it actually went with what the book said. Like there was a city in the book, just like there was in the movie. There were some deaths in the film, like, kind of spoiler warning, that actually happened in the books, like Newt had died, Teresa, Ava Page. Well, actually, Ava Page never really appeared as an actual person in the books. She was just the narrator, kinda. I mean, and it turns out she wanted to help Thomas find the cure as best she can and help him rescue his friends from her so-called second in command, which was Jansen. But that was in the books. Now, in the movies, she was originally trying so hard to find a cure, and she would do anything, no matter the cost. But by this film, she realizes that it's too late, and that maybe Thomas was right, but Jansen somehow never gave up, and that's because he had the flare, or at least he was starting to get it after what happened at the end of the second film. But he had it the whole time under Ava's nose, and she didn't even realize it. And I have to say, some of the deaths that happened in this film was insane. Now, the one thing that surprised me about this movie that actually happened in the book perfectly was the return of Gally from the first movie and the first book. Because in the first ever movie of the Maze Runner, he got stabbed through a spear through his chest by Mino, and somehow he survived that because the people that army that was outside the walls of the Wicked's headquarters actually found him right after they got picked up by that helicopter, and they patched him up when they realized he was immune. So enough talking about Maze Runner 3. Let's move on to The Incredibles 2 as my number 2 spot. It was a hard time choosing between Avengers Infinity War and The Incredibles 2, but I had to put Incredibles 2 at number 2. I thought this movie was insane. It took 14 years for them to release this sequel after the first film, and yet it actually did start off where the first movie left off. Slightly different though, but still. It's basically and I was thinking to myself, you took 14 years just to say it was going to start off where this movie left off, and then come up with the rest of the story. Like, it was pretty insane, and that's why I like it so much. Now, as for my number 1 spot, as you know, as you can see, Avengers Infinity War is at my number 1 spot of these movies so far, and I thought this was a great first part of the ending of the Thanos storyline for the Avengers. I can't wait to see Avengers 4 next year, and I still have to try to see Captain Marvel 2 next year before I see Avengers 4. But I gotta say, all I know about Avengers 4 is that there is going to be something to do with time travel in that movie, and Ant-Man is supposed to show up in the film after what happened at the end of his sequel, Ant-Man and the Wasp. And I think it'll be really interesting to see what might happen. And I don't know if this rumor is true, but it turns out that there might be some small cameo appearances. I don't know about the word cameo, but there might be some new characters introduced within Avengers 4. We just don't know if we're going to spot them. And when I say new characters, I mean new heroes. Like, some people say that there might be something to do with the X-Men or the Fantastic Four, or who else was I thinking of? There's some other characters that might show up in this film of Avengers 4 that could potentially set up the entire Phase 4 and Phase 5 films. Now, let me know what you think in the comment section below, if that's true or not. But yeah, so these were the 10 films I've seen so far in 2018. The next film I'm probably going to go see this year has to be Goosebumps Haunted Halloween. And if you want to see my little trailer reaction, go on to my channel, and it shouldn't be that too long ago that I made that trailer reaction. I believe it was July 11th, I believe, that I did that trailer reaction. It should be in my list of videos, and I will do another list of my 2018 movies that I've seen this year, and I will rank them from worst to best again. But hopefully, let me know what you think in the comment section below of my list, and even put your own list down in the comment section if you think, to let me know what you think out of these films, what you would rank them as. And I will see all you dudes in the next video.